Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Zone to Speak podcast. I'm your host, Juliana. This episode of Zone to Speak is supported by Peloton, the ultimate sunscreen for athletes. If you know me, you know I never leave the house without sunscreen, and Peloton is my go-to. It's lightweight, breathable, and designed for endurance sports, perfect for any day out on the saddle. And because they are supporting the podcast, you get 20% off your order. Just head to the link in the show notes and use the code ZONE2SPEAK at checkout. Protect your skin, fuel your adventures, and support the pod while you do it. Today on Zone to Speak, I am talking about a different kind of story, one that isn't really about racing, podiums, or what's. My guest is Sophie Potter, a writer who represents a part of cycling that more and more people are quietly gravitating towards, myself included. Simple writing, shared experience, and adventure. If you follow her, you will notice something immediately. It feels real. Not hyper optimized, not performance obsessed, just bikes and places. She's also launching a new project, bike trips built around connection, exploration, and human experience. The idea that cycling can be a vehicle not just for fitness, but for community. Today, we will talk about how she found cycling, why adventure riding resonates so deeply, what she's building with these trips, and why sometimes the healthiest way to ride a bike is to stop treating it like a performance test. Let's get into it. Welcome to the pod, Sophie.
Hello, thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. I was just telling you, I wanted you to be on the podcast since I started. So I'm so happy you're here. Our paths crossed on racing around Rwanda. We started following each other. I ended up not going because they turned into a bike packing event, and I was coming out of triathlon and I still had the bug of racing, race. I'm not going to go for bike packing, but now I'm completely the opposite. Anyways, a lot of people assume cyclists start young, racing, training seriously, but many riders actually arrive at cycling through feeling, freedom, curiosity, needing a reset. What is your story? Like, how did cycling first come into your life and what made you stay?
I was studying and I couldn't really pay for the bus. The bus was way too expensive. I was living in Montreal and it was way too expensive. So I decided to buy a bike and I commute. And this is how I mean, I knew how to ride a bike before. Like my grandpa taught me how to ride a bike, but yeah, I think this is how I start to cycling like every day on a daily basis. And then I came back to Europe and I did an Erasmus. I was in Milan and I met a friend there who told me like, oh, I'm coming back to, he was German. He's still German, sorry. He's German and he was coming back to Germany by bike from Italy. So he told me like, yeah, come along with us. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm coming. I had
Wow.
I had just my commute bike, a really, really bad one, when I had bought like 30 euro on second hand. And I said like, yeah, I will join. So that was in December. A few weeks later, I broke my legs. And I couldn't walk I was in a wheelchair for like 3 months,
Both
something
legs?
like that. No, just one, but I just
Oh, okay.
couldn't.
Wow.
I was.
Still, yeah.
So 7 months later in August, I was like, no, I'm still coming, guys, I'm still coming. And so I joined them after the Alps, so I wouldn't have to cross the Alps because I couldn't really push on my leg because my leg was still like pretty bad. So I ended up following those two guys, and we did like 1,000 k in a week.
Wow.
One was training for a triathlon. I was not. I was completely out of shape, or not in any shape actually. But it was such a nice experience, and I realized back then that you could actually go far on the bike, especially with like a really bad bike, or nothing was really working on my bike. But I I still manage. I had few puncture. I learned to fix my puncture there. Um, so this is basically how I realized like you can go far. And then um, COVID happened, and I wanted to start cycling a bit more. I met some people that were cycling. And I realized that I met one guy, and he was doing the, how is it called? The North Cape 4,000.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And
yeah.
this was my first introduction to this kind of event, this kind of race. And I was like, oh wow, this looks really cool. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it as well. So I bought a nice bike and started cycling a bit more. It was COVID, so I had time. Um, and one thing leading to another, I just like start cycling more and more. And yeah, that's how but I've never considered cycling as a sport. Like I don't like sport in general.
Hmm.
And I don't consider myself as a sport person. I've done ballet when I was a kid, but that's about it. For me, cycling is really like coming from like a way of transportation, going from one point to another.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, and riding with people, definitely.
Wow, I'm quite impressed that you went on this 1,000 kilometer adventure with your commuter bike and out of your leg injury. That's
Yeah.
quite impressive.
I mean, I didn't know what I
Um,
was getting
I
into. So,
completely relate. I don't come from sports until later in life when I got into triathlon, but you do have done some competition. Even actually on Rwanda, you were the first woman. I seen you, you know, on the top many ultra races. Um, what drew you toward adventure and experience rather than racing?
um, I mean, I really loved racing. I really loved the process. As I just said, like I'm not a sporting
Mm,
person, so but I love learning new things. I think I'm
yeah.
quite curious in general. And when I saw those race, I saw those like ultra distance race as adventure. Especially as like I've never been really fit, or like I think my advantage was that I'm not necessarily like how to pedal, but more like how to deal with the brakes, where to sleep, more like that side of
Mhm.
the race. Um,
I love that
and
too. It's fun. It brings
yeah,
so much adrenaline. Like, where are we going to find
yes,
to sleep? Where's the next meal? Yeah.
yeah, this is funny, and I feel also like I'm using my brain, which I really like. Like I
Yeah.
have to be efficient, and I really like that. So in racing, I love the process of training because I learned like how I started training before my first race. As like I had a coach and everything, so I was quite committed. But I was more, what I love is like learn like how my body changed.
Mhm.
I love the process, but once I kind of knew how it was going to be, I kind of not lost interest, but I was like, I don't really like training, or like not properly. I like to go on the trips. I like to go on multiple weeks trip. Like this is kind of how I train, but the training as doing like 1 hour on turbo trainer 4 times or 5 times a week, like I done it once, and, and that's enough for me. Um, and so I love racing, and if I could, I would still do it. The only problem is like I have a disease that it's kind of an autoimmune disease where all my joints are swollen when I push too hard, or where I
I
don't.
seen you posting about that. Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
painful.
it is extremely, extremely, extremely painful. And one of the reasons why I started racing was that I thought that if I would race and if I would manage to finish, uh, then it will kind of mean that I didn't have that disease anymore, which is not true. Took me a while to realize it. But and in the meantime, I kind of loved it as well. Like it was extremely painful, but um, I loved the adventure. So that's why I signed up to many other races. But after, I think at some point it was just like too self-destroying. Uh, like if one day I would get like a way to not having those crises, then I will race again. Like I will happily race again. But at the moment, it's just like too painful, so it doesn't really make sense anymore. And I decided that I'm not in a rush anymore. So it's not interesting anymore for me. Like it's too painful. Mm.
Yeah, I can see your thought process there on the mind over matter, right? You're trying to win this battle against your body, but with time, I guess you realized, this is too painful, and you can still have so much fun bike packing. It's different type of adrenaline, obviously, but
It is, yeah.
you can do that comfortably. I think there is a noticeable shift happening in cycling. More and more people, I feel like they want to do more bike packing and touring and traveling by bike rather than, the like you said, the traditional structure of the sport. It's just not giving people what they want. I'm on that spot right now. I love racing, but I lost a little bit of my
Mm.
fire for the structure training. I want to do the training. I mean, I want to do the racing. I don't want to do the training. I just want to ride my bike. Why do you think so many people right now are craving this slower, more human version of cycling?
Mm. It's funny because I don't know. Like I think when you start cycling, like many people start cycling during COVID or post COVID,
Yes.
like they got into that long distance thing really recently, or
Yeah.
they got into that backpacking. And which is funny is the way they say like, oh, now I should race. Like not like I want to race, I want to try that, but like I should, which is a bit like the use of word is a bit weird,
Yeah.
like as if it was necessary, like or like the obvious
Yeah.
backpacking. I don't think that's necessarily the case. So I'm not like yeah, I don't know. Like most people around me are more like in that. Like I think more like beginners are in like I should start racing now. But for people who kind of already raced and now that don't want to, I think it's just like it's nice, but it's not for everyone, and it's a big commitment.
It is.
It
Ultra
takes a lot
cycling
of
is
energy.
tough.
Yeah, it takes a lot of energy before, like especially before, during,
Yeah.
obviously during, but that during you it's quite fine, like it's part of the
Yeah.
fun, and after like the recovery period it's long.
It's
So
mad.
if you
Yeah.
if you if you don't live from it, like if you don't have sponsors, like basically you do that on your own money, on energy, on time, and this is time that you don't give to people, or like this is time you give to yourself, but this is quite I think it's quite demanding. And if you've done like maybe once, twice, like 2 3 years, and then you want to do something else, sometimes you cannot do both. Like it's just like if you want to race and being not necessarily competitive but being able to finish, like you still need to put like
Still.
yeah, it's still like a lot
Yeah.
of energy.
Yeah.
I think that's so I think as soon as you have another big project, I don't think you can do both. Or
Yeah.
maybe there's one race per year.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Uh,
agree. I agree. I have a question I've been wanting to ask for a long time. It's a silly question, it's not deep, but you were talking about sponsorship. You are a very well accomplished athlete, you have a lot of sponsors, but with all that, you always ride your bike with regular sunglasses. I have never
yeah.
seen you with proper cycling sunglasses. So I want to know
Yeah.
what's the story behind this?
So I need to wear like I have like corrective glasses.
Got it.
So and I need to wear glasses like
Mhm.
constantly. So even when like especially when I'm riding because I cannot really see from far. And I've tried many things. Nothing didn't really work. Like the cycling, like I would love to be able to wear like cycling glasses, especially when you ride like mountain bike in a forest where with normal glasses you don't see anything. So
Yes.
I would love that, but I like nothing really worked with my correction, like with my I don't know. I've tried the
Okay.
one where it's the glasses that has been cut and they put like corrective lenses,
Hmm.
but it didn't really work. Like it made me feel
No.
dizzy as if I was drunk the whole time. So
Wow.
nope, it didn't work. So yeah, I'm just wearing like normal glasses and I actually love glasses, like fancy
Okay.
one or like really colorful
Yeah,
one.
because it looks very. I know you came from fashion and you're into fashion. So I was like, is that a fashion statement? She doesn't like the cycling glasses. What's going on? But now I have my
Yeah,
answer.
I mean, I like also not to take myself too seriously. And I feel like if I put like cycling glasses on, it wouldn't feel me. Like I would
Mhm.
feel like an imposter. So I wouldn't. Uh, it would feel, yeah, it would be weird for me. Um, but on a technical point, I would love to. Though.
Yeah, yeah. I have worn some glasses that I thought they look so good, but then, like you said, you're mountain biking or gravel, and there's like a lot of dust or something. I don't see anything on a fast
No,
downhill or something. So much
yeah,
wind and air come in, so
mm,
not
it's a
great.
way to go fast. I mean, you don't see, so
Yeah,
what can happen?
yeah. Just keep going.
And see, yeah.
So you had so many memorable rides. What sticks to you? Like place, distance? What has been your favorite to ride?
I think I have two, but for different reasons. Uh, so the first one would be because of the place. It would be Tajikistan.
Okay.
Yeah, like the Pamir Highway, because you're above like 4,000
Wow.
for so long. It feels like it is actually. It just doesn't feel it. It is very remote. And like you have to carry food for multiple days.
Wow.
Um, it's everything is really mineral there because like obviously at like above 4,000 there is no trees anymore.
Hmm.
So the light is really different. It's really white. The sound is really different as well.
Wow.
um yeah, it's really rocky. And we so we cycled from Kyrgyzstan into Tajikistan. So we started from the higher point and then we slowly make our way down.
Okay.
And I really felt like when we went down, like we spent like days above 4,000 with barely food. Like we had issue with like with cash, so we couldn't really buy any food.
Okay.
So we were a bit starving actually. And we
Wow.
had headwinds. So yeah, we were trying to keep our resupply, and then we went to that valley where like they were um, gardening. There was water. It was crazy. Like it felt like life. Like life was there again. There was
Civilization.
yeah. I mean, it was not like big civilization, but you could buy like
Something. Yeah.
you could buy bread or find bread and this kind of
Wow.
stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, like for me, like and I really yeah, I really enjoyed Tajikistan. It was really beautiful. The people are so amazing. There is like politically and culturally, it's super interesting as well. Um, and yeah, I really enjoyed it for those reasons. And the second one would be my right, like our last winter, I was in Southeast Asia, and it was the first trip kind of on my own. It wasn't the first one on my own, but it was definitely the longest on my own. And the trip, like I was like, okay, this is my trip. I'm going and I'm gonna ride the way I want to. I'm um, not necessarily like adapting to someone else.
Yeah.
And also being able to like I was really scared like before going.
Hmm.
I, and yeah, yeah. For me, it was like a trip that kind of changed my life, or like made me work on myself a lot, and made me yeah, be more gentle to myself and say like, you tired, and you just stop. That's fine. Like, you don't owe anyone. Like, you can do your own trip. Um, so for that perspective, that's why I really enjoyed Southeast Asia.
Wow. Yeah. I'm sure so transformative. And I mean, you are already so well accomplished. I'm surprised to hear that you are afraid to take this journey. I feel like you know everything. Like you know how to get out of any trouble, you know?
Yes, yes, but it doesn't mean that I'm not scared. No, like I'm more scared about like being on my own, and like I know like all the logistic stuff I can manage. I can fix my bike, I can ride my bike, I can, if I need food, I can find food. If I need to hitchhike, I can do it on my own. Like the logistic side, it's okay,
Okay.
but it's scary to go on your own. Like, um but more like, oh, am I going to be lonely? It was like, that was my concern.
Okay.
Because I'm a social person. Like, I like to share things. And, and so yeah, that was more what concerned me. And also, like, I'm afraid to sleep on my own outside. And I
Oh,
think
yeah.
this is something that
A
needs
big
to be
one.
said. Like, even if I've I've traveled a lot, I'm still scared of that. And I think that's okay. I think there is kind of a pressure of people promoting like solo travel as something you should do. Again, like, I should race or I should solo travel. You don't have to do it if you don't feel like it or if you don't feel comfortable with it, and that's okay. Um, and that, yeah, that's okay. So I'm still scared of camping on my own. I've done it, but this is not something I particularly appreciate. I know I can do it, but I don't feel the need to do it. Or like,
Yeah. Well, I'm happy you did it and you overcame, those fears. You're saying that you went through those, I mean, I don't want to say hardship, but challenges. And then you came out of this trip really feeling good about being alone with yourself.
mm, it's
Yeah.
nice to know that you can do something.
Yeah.
Uh, it doesn't mean that you have to, but it's nice to know that you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll pick your brain in the future. I definitely want to do bikepacking Asia, and I do a lot of bikepacking with my cycling BFF. But sometimes, times don't align, and I feel like one of these days I'm gonna have to take the leap as well and do it on my own, which for me is terrifying. There is a level of safety, in numbers, but I feel like I'll pick your brain when that time comes, because I really want to go South East Asia.
Well, I think like if you again, like, I do understand that you don't want to go on your own for like a safety perspective, and that it would be nice like to be able to go on your own for like scheduled thing. But also, it's also okay to say like, I don't want to be on my own because I like to share things. I think this is
Yeah,
also something that kind of need to be said, or like,
yeah,
we are allowed to be social person and not wanting to be on our own, or like, even though you meet people on the road. So
that's
most of the
true.
time you won't be on your own, especially as if you don't want to.
Mm.
And now there is like so many there is those big WhatsApp group of people traveling in one region or one continent. There is one for West Central Africa, there is one for East Africa, there is one for
Wow.
Southeast
Okay,
Asia.
that's good to know.
So yeah, it is good to know. And so you can just like put a message on those WhatsApp group and say like, hey, I'm there and I would love to meet fellow travelers. Like, and
Mm.
people will answer. Like, people are answering.
Cool.
So when you travel, I think if you don't want to be on your own, there is way to not to be on your own. But I think if you go on your own, you should be able to still be on your own, because yeah, there is like a fair chance that you're going to meet other people. But if it doesn't happen, you should still be able to move, I think.
Wow.
um,
Yeah, if you can share how people can find these WhatsApp groups out there, that's awesome information. I'm okay being with myself. I love my own company, but I am
mhm.
afraid. I'm afraid definitely to to sleep alone or to be even on the trail. But if it's too deserted, I start, my mind start playing tricks like, what if I get lost? What if it gets cold? What if I don't get to that point and I'm stuck here? It's silly, but it happens. I'm aware,
Yeah,
you know.
the which is funny. So when I was in Asia, I first met like I joined someone there. We cycled for 2 weeks, and then I went on my own. And I
Okay.
remember like, and done gravel, I've done races, so I've been on my own quite a lot. But it felt like, I don't know, this was like such a big deal. And the first day I went on my own, I took a gravel road, like a small gravel road, and I was so aware of what was around me. At some
Hmm.
point, like one was just like a guy on his motorbike behind me, and I started like being really stressed about it, which is ridiculous. Like in a normal.
Yeah, it's irrational sometimes.
Exactly. But then what I wanted to say is like the first day was like that. The second day was like that as well. And then the third day, like it slowly went down. And after I was able
Okay,
to do it.
that's good.
Um, so, and also if you don't want to sleep outside, then you don't have to.
That's
Especially
true.
in Asia, it's in Southeast Asia, it's really easy to find accommodation
Okay.
and kind of a good price for, I mean, because of the change, like the money change. It's quite. You can find accommodation from 5 to maybe 15 euro, something
Hmm.
like that. So even if you don't want to sleep outside, like you can manage to find accommodation along the way. Um, and Southeast Asia is also extremely safe. And from a woman perspective, it is extremely safe as well. Um,
Wonderful.
I've never like I think in some country when you cycle, men would like it's not mean, but like they will like whistle at you or
It feels
say
uncomfortable.
nice stuff.
Yeah.
Let's say,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean. In Asia, this wouldn't happen.
Oh, that's good. Very
Yeah,
good.
so like I think it's a really good, like if someone wants to go abroad, and especially as a woman, this is
Hmm.
a good place to start.
Awesome. And then if you don't want to go alone, I want to learn more about what you are creating. I know you just announced that you
Mhm.
are now launching bike trips.
Yeah.
So where did the idea for the trips come from? What kind of experience do you want someone to leave with after riding with you? Like what is it that you're creating?
So basically, the past 5 years, I've been traveling a lot on my bike, and I was always saying like, "Oh wow, this would be so nice to bring people here." Like, we
Yeah.
haven't seen any other cyclists, we haven't seen any
Hmm.
other tourists. That would be so nice to for people like to discover like non-touristic way, like especially when cycling. Like this is the whole point of cycling.
Yeah.
You can like leave the really touristic path. Um, and also I like to share. I like I like sharing the road. So I was like, I might as well like bring people with me and like trying to to not maybe teach, to share what I've learned and to embark people with me and to push them to not push them but like to influence them, let's say, to do what I've done, like on a bike trip, because like this is such going on a bike trip has changed my life. It has given me like so much freedom, so much confidence, even if I still feel like I'm scared. um, it's such a life-changing experience that it would be nice to put more people on bicycle, definitely. And so I didn't necessarily wanted to do it to get to like on my own. So I'm partnering with Claire Sharp, who is like such a badass on her bike. She's like a mountain bike leader. Yeah. So we're launching this together. And so basically what we want is to show people or to like the way we travel, which is like on our bike, with
Sign
our
me up.
bags.
Sign me up. I want to
Like
go.
we want to sleep outside. And also we don't want things to be over planned. Definitely things will be planned, but we want room for improvisation or for like we are tired now. Oh, it's okay. We just sleep here. Like we don't have to push just because we decided. Like
Oh, I lost you.
are you
Oh, you're back.
freezing? Okay,
Okay, I lost
I'm
you.
back
And
again.
if we're tired, we can sleep here.
Yeah, like this is how we travel.
Hmm.
Like bikes, like bike trip. It's
True
easy.
adventure.
Yeah, you're tired. You sleep. You are hungry. Then you stop for lunch. Like life doesn't have to be over complicated, and especially on the bike. So yeah, we want like authentic trips where it feels like a real adventure and where it feels like people could actually go on their own or like create trips with friends after that. Like we want to give people confidence. So there will be in the trips, there will be workshop definitely on how to fix your bike, how to find a good place to sleep, how to create a route.
Wow. Very, very valuable. I haven't seen anything like that out there. So I wish you all the success. I think it's amazing. I can't wait to see, the places you have in mind. It's great, like just to have the idea in the place and go with the flow a little bit, because that's how adventures are, right? You have the route and you don't know. You have this route, you have the equipment, and then you have to see where that road takes you.
Yeah, but then you have the guides as a safety net, just in
Yes.
case.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And what would you say it's the experience level? Because of course these people would have to do certain distance, so you do have to have a certain fitness level, even though you don't have the experience of maybe doing routes and fixing your bikes.
So what we want to do is like it will be open to everyone, definitely.
Hmm.
But some trips will be more beginner oriented, some will be more like mountain bike oriented. And then
Hmm.
when people sign up, we will definitely ask them their experience.
Hmm.
Uh, and see if they could fit in the trip, or if they cannot fit in that trip, we will recommend them another one. Because the point is to that everyone enjoy, and when you're struggling the whole week, it doesn't really make sense. So that's how we're gonna manage that, and also there will always be shortcuts. Like we're going to create routes where there is
Oh,
shortcuts,
that's
or
nice.
if it's not like if it's maybe if it's like a gravel ride, then
Hmm.
there is like a road shortcut. And also like we will make sure that we can arrange a transportation. Um, Maybe not necessarily with a car following, but just like I've been in that country. I was tired at some point. Like this is actually how I travel like many times. Um, I was too tired. Like there is a certain day in the month as a woman, usually you
Yes.
don't want to be riding your bike. And
Yeah.
usually I don't ride it. And then I'm gonna take like public transport. So like the point is like that we will have experience in the place we are bringing people to.
Hmm.
So there will be possibilities to, if you're too tired, like you can just take a camel if you're in Morocco. I don't know.
Sounds
Maybe not a
so
camel.
much fun. Do you have any top locations in mind or nothing defined yet?
Morocco will be on the list, definitely.
Okay.
The Alps in France as
Nice.
well.
Okay.
And then I would love to maybe bring people into even more adventure place, I would say, but more like in more expedition type, like crossing the Sahara or even the Pamir Highway. It would be so cool.
Yeah.
It would be so cool. Maybe not the first year, so we
Mhm.
can. Yeah, maybe year two.
Wow.
Pamir Highway would be nice. The only thing is like for the expedition, people need like more time. Like you don't you don't go for the Pamir away for 1 week. It's just like,
Yeah.
doesn't really make sense. So people need to be able to take like 2 or 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, a lot of cool things planned. And
Yeah.
we're talking now, you're in Morocco. What are you up to and what's next for you besides the bike trips?
Well, in the next week, I will recce places here. So I will keep like wrecking places here in Morocco. And then in April, I will be a race reporter for the 101, the Lost on
Oh,
101. It's a race
nice.
for
Okay.
Flinta
Yeah.
only. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really exciting. And then June, July, I will be in Europe with like there will be trips there. And then I'm again being the race reporter on this year.
Nice.
Yes. And in autumn, I think I would go back on a maybe 3 or 4 months trip, long trip. This time,
Wow.
probably crossing the continent.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. I like to. That's what I've been. This is how my trips were before. Like I like to join like a big line on in the earth, like the equator. Like when I cycled from South Africa, I didn't know where I will end up. And when I reached the equator, I was like, it's okay. I'm done. Like, I'm done. This is, I'm okay to stop here.
I love that adventure nature that you have. Really, really admire you, Sophie. Thank you so much for the reminder that cycling doesn't have to be complicated to be meaningful. Thank you for coming to Zone to Speak.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And see you on the road.
Yes. And that's all for today's episode. I want to thank the listeners for tuning in. Your support means everything. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider following, leaving a review, and sharing it with your friends.